Hello, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
How are you? All good?
Good.
Nice. Hey, Madhavana.
So, hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm at work now, going home. Let's see if I can get some Wi-Fi on the main road. So I'll try to just listen. I'll not have any video because no Wi-Fi to connect.
Okay. Thanks so much for effort. Your presence is really valid here.
Hello, everyone.
Haribo.
So, someone would like to recap what we saw last week? Any highlight, something that you stay maybe reflecting about it after the meeting? No? Okay. I can, let me see here where we stop. We are almost in the end of the second chapter, which is one of my favorite chapters, particularly, and one of the chapters with more verses also. So Krishna was describing what is yoga to Arjuna and what can be considered yoga and how you need to really concentrate yourself in yoga to prepare your mind, your spirit for the battles that you face in life. So much more about how we prepare in many levels than only asanas. That's what we see as sold and promoted as yoga currently, right? Let me share the screen here so we can see the Gita. We stopped on the pink part. We're about to read the pink part. So, what we read before was the verses 52 and 53 that we finished the class, the meeting last week. Uh, when your reason will cross over the illusion thicket, then you've been different. What was heard and needs to be heard. When your hearing confounded, reason stands unwavering and moving in full concentration, then you attain yoga. And this is quite interesting because on the book club with the Valaya, we are discussing the levels of attachment and how the gunas, how the material modes of nature can influence these attachments in many levels. Hey Rob, welcome. Just talking about the book club of the Valaya here. So we are attached to so many things, so many things. And in the same way, Arjuna was attached to family and friends, and this makes him feel really concerned about what was the best to do, right? Someone would like to continue reading? We stop, it's the pink part right now.
Yeah, I can continue reading. The Lord said, when one satisfied by self and self alone rejects all the mind's selfish desires, Partha, one is said to have firm wisdom. Free of passion, fear, and anger, with mind undisturbed in miseries, one no longer Longing for pleasures is said to be steady-minded, a steady-minded sage. Wisdom is firmly fixed in one who is everywhere, unaffected whether meeting good or evil, who neither delights nor despises. Wisdom is firmly fixed in one who fully withdraws the senses from their objects, as the tortoise withdraws its limbs.
I would like to comment a little bit of what you have just read.
Yeah. It's easier read than done, right? Like to withdraw your senses from the sense objects and like be satisfied in yourself alone. It's there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot bombarding us, and I'm not speaking for everyone, but personally, I find it hard to like be completely detached from everything. And I'm trying. I keep trying, but and I think that's what we're being taught by Krishna and Arjuna and our spiritual masters to continue fighting, to continue learning and realizing and imbibing what is taught in the Bhagavad-gita.
It's really interesting because you mentioned the attachment and how much is difficult to realize in practical life, right? That's what we are discussing right now in the book club with Devalaya. Hey, Devalaya, welcome.
Hey, Krishna.
Hey, really nice to see you here, you and Rob. So, Carla, thinking about wisdom and attachment, I have a question for you, and maybe for others who feel free to share if you want to. What moment of your life did you realize that you've learned something meaningful in Krishna consciousness, that no one can take it from you? Because generally we are attached to what someone can steal. And we are some sort of way detached of other stuff because we know that no one can steal that from you. What do you think?
Yeah, great question. At what moment in my Krishna consciousness journey did I realize that I'm not attached to something? Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can be, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Because here it is said, wisdom is firmly fixed in one who is everywhere and affected, whether meeting good or evil, who neither delights nor despises. Wisdom is firmly fixed in one who fully withdraws the senses from their objects, as the tortoise withdraws its limbs. And we generally tend to focus on the turtle example in all lectures and in classes about this verse, I know. But I was thinking this when I was preparing this meeting, that we tend to be attached to things that we know that people can steal from us. A car, money, your bank account, or someone entering your house, but no one can steal what's in your heart. And then I was thinking about how many wonderful teachings that I've learned in Krishna consciousness that no one can steal from me. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And then I was thinking, well, this is the wisdom. Know that what is really valuable you are carrying with you to the next life is not anything material. It's what your soul will carry to the next life. What you learn until here.
yeah, I like that. Yeah, those are the things that nothing. It's just like bhakti. And whatever little bit of bhakti we do, we carry with us, right? And it can't be taken from us. Yeah.
What do you all think? Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I'd say like 2 years ago, or yeah, about 2 years ago is when I realized like my bhakti was my own, right? Like that it's a personal practice, and that regardless of whether a guru falls down or doesn't fall down, or an organization falls apart or stays together or takes a different direction, like ultimately it doesn't matter because my bhakti is my own, and what it looks like is my own concern. It's not anyone else's concern. People might tell me what it's supposed to look like, but it's up to me whether I accept that or don't accept that. And so, yeah, I'd say about 2 years ago is when I really finally understood that. Though I'd heard it before, I had like intellectually conceptualized it. I hadn't like integrated it. Like I didn't know it with my heart, but once I found that out, like it kind of gave me the freedom to really flesh out my own bhakti practice and experiment more with what works for me and what doesn't work for me, and be more open to changes within my practice, instead of having the rigidity and or maybe even like a dogmatic approach that prevented me from actually being able to grow in my relationship with bhakti and Krishna.
You bring something really interesting, Rob, that it's this reminder that our relationship with Krishna is personal, it's totally personal, right? And if you want to evolve in your spiritual life, we need to focus on this relationship. We tend to forget this. We tend to stay blind with this, thinking that sometimes thinking, not saying that it's your case, but sometimes people think that one will take you by the hand and teach you everything and say what you need to do all the time. And that's not right. You need to be able to distinguish what needs to be done, what's not, what's best for you, what's not. And this is taking charge of your spiritual life. Yeah, this is really interesting.
This makes me also think about um, we were given the holy name, and no matter what our circumstance is in life, no matter what our day is in life, if time's taken away our chance to chant or our busy schedule, whatever we're doing, nothing's really stealing the holy name from us. That's with us forever, and we can, if we're mute and we can't speak, and or like even if you're imprisoned or whatever, and like you can be chanting in your mind. That is never going to get stolen from us as well.
Yeah, yeah, this is very important because the chant of the holy names was something that Prabhupada emphasized so much, and for a reason, right? But sometimes we jeopardize this. There was a really, really good investment that I did in my spiritual life was the Japa workshop with Mahatma Das. I don't know if I mentioned this before, uh, but it's a life change. A life change. You really improve your chanting after this workshop. It's available on his channel on YouTube, and there is so many powerful insights. I I don't know if anyone else besides Kala did this workshop here.
Primo, you've mentioned it before, and now I have to watch it. That you mentioned it again. Thank you so much.
You really do. I'm 100%, 108% back what Prem was saying about that workshop. It was Muhammad Das has just a way of explaining things and making it so accessible, and it was some powerful insights. And it was what was it? 3 days for us, I think, Prema. And it was it changed my japa as well. It's unreal. It really is unreal. And and like she said, it's recorded, so it's good to go back and watch it again and stuff. But yeah,
I watched it
very.
again the first class, and I wanna continue watching, but now I'm doing so many stuff that I didn't. I'm not watching in one after another, but It's amazing. It's really, really, really amazing. But I do recommend that you start from the first part because there is a sequence in order for you to have a better
I'm
understanding
gonna.
of what he's sharing with us. It's very powerful. And this is what Krishna will share on, will continue sharing here. So, someone would like to say something?
I'm just gonna search for that class while we carry on and post it here for everyone
Okay,
for the
I
workshop.
went and got paper and pencil, so make a note.
You can make post on the WhatsApp group later, Carla. I don't know. I remember that
That'd
I
be
post
better.
on the app, but I don't remember where on the app I posted. And there was a long time also.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Krishna continues here. Turbulent sense take the mind by force. Controlling all the senses, one must stay linked, devoted to me. Wisdom is firmly fixed in one who rules the senses. And how hard it is to I won't even say master the senses, but how hard it is to try to control our senses, right? Because our mind is so I Mangalarti, do you disagree or do you agree?
No, I'm agreeing. No, that's like, yeah, I get it.
No, please share with us, Mangalarti.
No,
Now,
just
now we're
controlling
all
mind. It's always
curious. Madhavan is laughing also.
it's just difficult, to control the mind. I have a little ADHD, which makes my mind go like at 300 miles an hour, and so yeah, it gets really interesting sometimes. But when we talk about controlling the mind, it's not that the idea is, we meditate on so many things that we want to gain pleasure from, activities that we do, and it's not that we're saying renounce those activities. We're just saying use them in service. So you don't renounce things, you dovetail it. So whatever you enjoy doing, whatever that thing is, I like making things. So Krishna's blessed me. I'm going to be heading to Mississippi again soon to go help them there. So it's just rather than doing it here in my house and doing my own thing for me, I get to go do service for the devotees. And that's how you control your senses. Just swing it to Krishna, right? That's
Yeah.
just it's renouncing creates a hole. If you ever get into like I think you do this, don't you? When people are trying to get off drugs, right? That kind of thing. Prabhupada always talked about a higher taste. You can't create a hole. You just create a vacuum. Something else will fill it, usually something bad. So idea is just find something better and fill that hole, make it so. That's actually renunciation. A lot of people think they got to give things up and quit trying to do things, but that's not it.
This is a
Yeah,
great point because it's the
yeah.
opposite, right? I'm sorry, Carla.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
please.
Uh, Many people think that you need to uh, change to another person completely and let aside everything that you like, all your skills or your abilities. And there is nothing to do with. You can use all your skills, all your abilities to create something meaningful with bhakti in the center, offering your best to in service of others, of the society. And this is amazing. So if you have the best consciousness, you want to do your best not only for yourself but by others also, and use these acts of service as an offering to Krishna. Being yourself.
That's important.
Yeah. Like Nirvana said, come as you are. Does someone would like to share something?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on that hole in the heart thing. Raghunath from Wisdom of the Sages and Jiva, who runs the Bhakti Recovery Group for addicts and alcoholics and stuff, they always talk about that hole in the heart. And you want like you mentioned, Mangla. Once that hole, once whatever was there is taken out, you're going to want to fill it. You got to fill it with something, and you want to fill it with the divine, with Krishna, with God consciousness, whatever it is, and that hole is there. That hole is there to begin with, and we're trying to stuff this and that and this and drink this and whatever into that heart to make us feel this sort of a euphoric or whatever feeling, but that's misdirected, like you said, and it should be directed to serving Krishna. And,
Yeah, we're all addicts. We're just addicted to our personal self gratification. That's our addiction.
whatever
So
form it is, right?
It is. It's the same thing. It's no different, really.
Yes, it's tricky to explain this to someone that just arrived or just started to read the Gita or Krishna consciousness book, because bhakti can be so inclusive, but on the first moment can be can looks like something totally out of our lives, and it's not. It's so practical. It's so practical. So when we see, sorry, someone would like to say something? No, I heard something. Whatever. Uh, Continuing here, when a person contemplates sense objects, attachment for them desire arise. Sorry. Desire springs from attachment, and from desire, anger is born. From anger comes confusion. From confusion, memory loss. From memory loss, reasons running. By reasons running, self vanishes. Someone would like to comment this?
Check, 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 check. Yep. Can totally relate with this. I think as all of us probably can, in some form. It's so true, and it's so like to read it. Oh yeah, that makes total sense. But then when you're living your life and you're like, things come and go, and like your desires springs up from some sort of attachment. It's just like, oh, you can get lost, and then everything just falls into place, just like this verse. Everything just falls into place.
At the minimal signal of frustration, we start to check the boxes. Is this?
For me, yes.
The valet, I would like to share something.
So I'm curious. I just need a little clarification. I guess I could think in my own life and figure this out. But so the anger part, is that because Krishna's, what does that mean? Is that for protection of the desire and attachment? Why is anger in there? I'm not sure. I don't understand that sequence. I understand desire springs from attachment, but why anger?
So we use the term lust, greed, and anger, and lust is actually just means desire, or kama means desire. So basically what it is it's like a child, he desires something, and then you get attached to it and the mom says no. And he can't get that desire. So suddenly he's upset, right? So we have these desires and we try and fulfill them, but we don't always get fulfilled. Then we get angry. And then when you're angry, you basically get delusional. You start we all know that in fits of anger, we don't think properly, right? I mean, you've had arguments and later on, you're like, oh, why did I even say that? Because when you get angry, you get very delusional and you lose your perspective, which is basically it. So, I mean, you'll find that most anger comes from lack of control. We want control. We have a desire for something, and when we can't achieve it, then we get mad. And that's what it is. And they're all material attachments that cause it.
That's a great explanation, Mangalarti. I saw this scene this morning. I went for a walk, and there is a family with a kid, and the kid was asking more strawberries, and the mom just grabbed the kid and said, "No, now we go home," and put the kid in the car seat, and put the seat belt, and the kid was like crying and screaming for strawberries as a kid. And it was exactly like this. Exactly like this, really. The kid was so attached to the strawberry, so
Mhm.
attached. And then because the kid couldn't get the strawberries, the kid stay angry. And then the kid stay confused, anger, crying. Doesn't even know what was doing anymore. When the parents were brilliant, like firm, calm, just teaching the kid. And in the same way, I think that as conditioned souls, many times we want strawberries, and Krishna is is saying no, no, no. Are you sure you don't want to go home? There is a full meal there. There is a lunch prepared for you. Everything. A fancy starter, main course, dessert, drinks. But you were so attached to the strawberry. So attached to the strawberry. And we stay anger. In general, we don't deal with frustration uh in the most mature way sometimes. And I think that's why we see so many psychologists talking about the importance of emotional regulation nowadays, because we see many adults that really needs to learn how to regulate themselves, not only the kids. And this discussion is not something that we used to have years ago.
Yeah. I think you're right, and even the anger can come in such subtle forms. Like it doesn't have to be an outburst or like you're yelling or whatever. It could be, you're waiting for the bus to go to work, and you're walking to the bus stop, and then you see it going by, and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be so late." You're all of a sudden anger, and it's very subtle, but you're already you're angry there, right? And then it kind of sets the mood for the day sometimes, Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
like Rob said, passive aggressive too. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
yeah. The Valaya
Basically, we don't get
said
what we
passive.
want.
Sorry?
That's what you basically, I mean, I just look at it over and over, and it always comes down to, control. It's really about we want to control the world around us. We want it to go our way. And when it doesn't, that's when anger usually steps in. Spouse tells you they want you to do something. You're like, no, I don't want to do that. Next thing you know, she can't get what she wants. You're not getting what you want. Now you're both angry, and then you say things you shouldn't, right? That's where the whole delusional side comes in with anger, right? So you have to be very careful.
Yeah, the example of
Mhm.
the kid and the strawberry, it's just an example, but anger is not necessarily something bad. You can use your anger in a good way also. You can use
Mhm.
your anger to fight for a word that it's less unequal, let's say like this. You can use your anger to turn your energy into something positive, right? You can use your anger, your in a way that you use this energy as a feeling of transformation in a powerful tool to try to transform the world. Devalaya, this is I don't know if we clarify your thought or not.
That was excellent. Thank you so much, you guys. I love the example too about the child and the strawberry. That was great.
For me, seeing was great because I thought about this, but for the kid, sure wasn't being great at all in a Monday morning. Rob would like to share something.
No, I don't think so. I like that analogy too. Whether we get what we want or we don't get what we want, we're gonna be angry when we're too attached on it. That's kind of the sum up for me.
Okay,
And
Madhavan, I'm not sure because you said that you'd be a little bit absent in your way. You're in transit. Please feel free to share something. Hey, welcome, Yashoda.
And just to let you know, I brought strawberries on the way home. I picked them up, so there won't be no need for there's plenty.
Let's back to read the Bhagavad-gita right now. Let me share this screen here. Wait a minute. Yashoda, we are continuing the second chapter. And we are in that famous verse that I know that you love so much as I love, as much as I love. When a person contemplates sense objects, attachment for them arises. Desire springs from attachment, and from desire, anger is born. From anger comes confusion, from confusion, memory loss. From memory loss, reasons reign. By reasons reign, self vanishes. Oops, I jumped. No, it's fine. Someone would like to continue reading?
You want me to read?
Would
If
you
you
like to read?
go,
Sorry?
I'll read for you.
Oh, I thought that you said, can I read? And I say yes.
Well, because your video is so small now with this that I wasn't sure if you nodded or not. So that's why I was trying to
Okay.
confirm it. All right. The unlinked does not reason. The unlinked does not focus. The unfocused has no peace. And for one not at peace, where is happiness? In fact, as senses roam, the that sense to which mind yields takes away one's wisdom as wind takes away a boat at sea. Therefore, great armed, wisdom is firmly fixed in one who is fully restrained senses from the sense objects. In the night of all beings, the self-controlled awakes, and beings awake in the seeing sage's night. As the sea stands steady, unmoving as waters enter and fill it, so one in whom all desires thus enters attains peace. Not one who desires to enjoy, desires, giving up all desires. A person who lives free of longing, free of I and mine, achieves peace. This is the Brahman status. Arjuna achieving which one is not confused, standing in which even at end time one rises to nirvana in Brahman. There's a lot in
Thank
that.
you. Yeah, a lot. Would you like to share something?
Yeah, it's just, as soon as you can become detached from all these things, you actually get freedom. That's actually true freedom. Otherwise, we're just being dragged around. So, I use the analogy all the time. When you get a brand new car and then somebody hits it, you get very angry. But if it's an old crappy car, you don't care because you're not attached. Right? So that's our attachment to all these things. And, like say you got an old crappy car, you're like, say let me, no big deal. You're not attached. So you're free from it, right? But that brand new car just got out the showroom, somebody hits it, you're like, oh my God, you're ready to cry. I just got it. I got 5 miles enjoyment out of it, and already it's messed up. So like that, and then so as you become detached from everything, yeah, your senses become calm. You're not pushed and pulled by the senses. So you can walk calmly and not be pulled around. That's the real idea, is not be pulled around. Again, that's why we into the three ranks. Not to be pulled around.
And what else do you believe is important for someone to attain peace? Because we have this verse that says that the mind is like a bolt, but it's so again, it's the type of verse that, as Carla said in the beginning, when you read, looks easy, but in practical life, it's so
Mm.
hard to realize this, right? Because
Yeah,
when
you
I
got to give
think,
up the rudder. Give it
huh?
to Krishna. You got to give up the rudder. You got to give it to
Yeah.
Krishna. You got
Yeah.
to you just surrender. Give it up. That's the best way I can describe it. You're on this little boat ride. You're trying to steer the boat, get what you want. Just give it up. Give it to Krishna. All right. I'm just along for the ride. It's not
Um,
easy.
it's not easy at
It's not
all,
easy.
at all.
No. 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 Kramer, can you go back to the text, if you don't
Yeah.
mind, please? Thank you. Yeah, this line is just like the unfocused has no peace. It's like, oh my gosh. Think just like my mind. I'm sure everyone's mind. It's just like I couldn't imagine someone who suffers from um, ADHD or like severely. It's like I have a friend, a coworker who has it, and he just is always not sleeping, and his mind, he can't shut his mind off. And none of us can literally shut our mind off, but for some, it feels worse than others, and it's true. Our mind is like shooting a thought, so many thoughts at a moment, and if you attach yourself to these thoughts, to these objects, you're going to have no peace. So that the unfocused has no peace is a great line. And I also wanted to just comment. This is the second time we've heard Nirvana in this discussion tonight. At the Prema brought up the band Nirvana earlier. Remember, come as you are. You sang even. It's good. Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. This leads me to another question. How do you define someone self-control? Because if you want to attain peace, besides your basic need is attended, right? Because one cannot have peace if it's hungry, for instance. Do you need to have any level of self-control? You cannot have peace if you don't have any level of self-control. Otherwise, I think that we got the risk to stay in a passive aggressive anger, as the Valaya said. The Valaya, please go ahead.
I think for me, it's really helped. I mean, I'm with you guys and what has been discussed, this idea of surrendering to Krishna. Also, everything changes all the time. Everything changes, and in the material realm. And also for me to understand that when things get difficult in life, I like to see them now as obstacles and challenges, more in a way, obstacles versus like this is total destruction. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, this is kind of difficult right now. This is a challenge to me, but it's nothing that I can't overcome. And I only have that attitude for, just living life and having experiences because I have overcome other challenges in life. And I've moved through them, even though they've been very difficult. So it's like I can base things on my prior experiences and know I can still work through them. And again, framing them as a challenge or an obstacle versus something that's like total destruction.
Thank you so much. Yes, Prabhupada always emphasized that we need to see challenges as opportunities to grow, right? And really, what Rob said, problem, challenge, obstacle, opportunity. Yes, yes, yes. And I know that many people nowadays have uh, like an with this speech of coach, but it's not. It's like some situations you don't have any power to change, but you can change the way that you look to the situation. I totally agree with you, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't fix a situation. You can fix how you react to it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Happiness doesn't come from outside, it only comes from inside. So it's how we deal with what's going on. Not easy, but it happens. It's I just because, like I said, a year ago, I went through a very difficult thing, and so it was a big learning thing for me. But yeah, just learned it.
Yeah.
I'm driving, so I stop it in a parking lot right now. It's just like I'm participating, but not really. I just want to add something about this. Um, how you react and how you change about situations, and it's interesting because it's very hard to know how to react, especially when the situation is caused by other factors. Like when we cause the thing, it's interesting that we know we causing the situation, and then we can kind of have a little like, ooh, what am I doing? And change it. But when the the causation is made by outsiders, not inside you, not your mind, not your body, that is the challenging. And that's where we learn the most to control our minds and the talking, like how we going to speak about it, how we going to talk about it, how we going to react to this. And being a person that I'm in the US, but I'm Brazilian. So I've been living here for 7 years, and I work in a restaurant. I serve people, I serve meat, fish, whatever. I don't care. That's my dharma. That's my job right now. I don't have choice. When you're an immigrant, you don't have much choice. So if you don't know how to react to what you have. I have to deal with these owners for 7 years. I work for the same people for 7 years because I can't change. I don't have choice. So if I don't have like some of them, they're fine. So they accept me, and I do accept the most of the BS they do for me because I don't have choice. But it's so hard to control and detach from that situation because that affects you in everything. Like, all right, I'm not from here. Anything is easy. Absolutely nothing is easy. Nothing. But I get the Bhagavad-gita saves me all the time because I got to read it. I get to detach. I don't have how to control anything, but I can try to make the situation better in relationships, at job, at home, friends, not having any friends. That part is not great. So that is a lot to work. The Bhagavad Gita has everything we need, but it's a lot of work. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry about the time. I took a lot.
No problem. Thank you for sharing. And I think that in your case, it's even more harder because you didn't turn vegetarian right now. You were a vegetarian before. For you all know, when I've met Yashoda, she was working in a restaurant that serves only prasadam. And she's for 7 years working in a restaurant that
Yep.
it's different. It's another one. So
Yep.
I think that sometimes we tend to judge others because it's easier to find solutions for the problems of others instead of ourselves, right?
Yep.
Sometimes we see the situation that other people were facing and we say, oh, come on, it's not a big deal. You could do this, you could do that. But wait a minute. You don't even know what this person is facing, you know? Maybe you have access to only 1% of the life of this person that is like a frame of what this person share on social media or what this person have let you know, what this person share with you. But you never will know the whole picture and how it is to this person to deal with this or that situation. Because we all have our baggage from this life, from past lives, and we're all here in Anartha Nivritti. We're all trying to deal with our karma, and we have seeds already that are sprouting. Is this word? Others that will and we will sprout, will spread, I don't know. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
It is. It is a challenging. But, you know, Krishna teaches us how to control the mind, what we need to do. It's all there, step by step. Just do it.
That
Yeah,
is the
you do what
hardest
you have to
part.
do.
Do it.
Well,
Sorry.
because even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a story about the Brahmin who was taking the money from the temple and going seeing the prostitutes. And then the prostitutes were taking the money and giving it to Krishna. And the Brahmin's the one who
Yep.
went to hell, right? So the prostitutes, they had this horrible job, but because their consciousness is in the right place and they're trying to do the right thing, they were actually exonerated from it. So in that way, yeah, you just, right, you got to focus. It may be horrible what you're doing,
Yes,
but yeah, you just,
absolutely. I got to preach to people. Like I don't
mm,
have much time on the tables, right? But I got to
mhm.
preach to Indian people.
Oh,
The Indian people that never knew about the Bhagavad-gita, but they knew their mom were reading it, but they didn't. And then I speak to them about it, and then they get all excited. Some people just invite me to go to their houses. So I use the environment as much as I can to talk about Krishna. But I don't talk to everybody. Like my husband, he doesn't believe in God. He
mm.
doesn't believe in God. So we live really good. It's so impressive because I'm not going to force him to know what I know. And he's not going to make me not believe in God because it's part of who I am. And he's really cool with that. He sees my books. He sees I'm reading. The other day, he was like, "Who's this guy I see on YouTube all the time? It's Kaustuba and Raghunath. I'm always listening to them, and it's like I see these guys all the time. Who are they?" And then I explain to him. So I do what I have to do, and Krishna is going to be part of it. And I do the best I can of all situations, and that's what we have to do.
So I was married for 40 years and my wife never really took up, I mean, she didn't take it up, like she never got initiated. Now, I was very lucky that she became a vegetarian for me. So I was very blessed on that one. Um, but she did believe in Krishna, but she never was devotional. But we both respected each other. I respected her for what she believed and vice versa. She never got in the way of me, wanting to go to temple. I mean, she did a lot of service, don't get me wrong. She sewed for the deities and she did flowers for the deities and stuff like that when we lived on the farm. But yeah, we all just have to, it's good that he's given you that space. That's wonderful. That's a good thing.
I
Sri
love it, and
Charity.
I don't blame. I don't. I know what happened to him, and when he was a young. So I know the reason why he hates religion and all the things about behind the Mormons. And he told me a little bit of it, which doesn't matter right now. But he's very respectful, and he knows when I'm getting dressed. It's like, what is it today? I said, oh, it's Krishna's brother birthday. It's this birthday. So I keep just telling him what it is, and it's nice. It's what
It's
it
good.
is. Yeah.
This is funny. My family used to say, "Hey, you heard Krishna, you all love to travel and party a lot, huh?" And say, "Yeah." That's all we do, party all the time. But thinking about self-control, I have one question for you all. Do you think that someone who is self-controlled suppresses their emotions or assumes their feelings to avoid being controlled by them?
So say that last part you said, do they suppress their emotions or what?
Or assumes their feelings, try to observe their feelings to
Hmm.
avoid being controlled by them. Because one thing is to neglect, like if you are feeling anger, because we bring the topic of the anger, said, no, I don't have anger. I never feel anger. I never get angry with anyone. Or do you think that someone that is self-controlled assume their feelings, observe their feelings in order to avoid being controlled by them?
Yeah, the latter. Because emotions are there. We're emotional beings. It's a part of life, right? That happiness, distress, anger, love, all that. So the question is how do you, again, it's not about what's around you, it's about what's in you. So how do you deal with them as they come up, right? And if you're aware of them, then you can direct them accordingly. All right. And that's what it means to control your senses. So it gets, we're back into the mind and the intellect, right? The mind's the receiver of the senses. If we follow that, then we just let our senses go wild and we do stupid things, right? But when you control your senses, that's when you know they're there, but the intellect's saying, okay, you're a little upset, chill out. Don't overreact here, right? That's when you take the intellect and you take this philosophy and you apply it.
A
It's not just
hundred percent. I agree 100%. You apply the knowledge and the feelings you're having, especially like you were married for 40 years. I can imagine how much we have to control, to respect, to understand. It's a lot. And then we need to apply the knowledge every day.
Sri said one time, he made it when it was lecture, he says, the best marriages that last the longest are when both people stay in their own lane. So think about that one.
Now that you said that, my husband plays video game in one room and I'm watching TV in the other room, and we're very happy.
Stay in your lane. Don't mess with his lane.
The Valet would like to share something.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that sometimes I just I've done a little experiments. I just have to pause. I have to pause. Like if my mom says something that I was like, I could say this, but I'm just gonna pause on that. That to me is self-control. Having because then I allow myself to have the time to respond in a more kind way, because it's all about the delivery too, not necessarily for me it's about the delivery, my tone. The content might be the same, but it's just how I say it. And then pausing and really like sink into that. Like it might be, yeah, just taking the time to have to to think about what I'm going to say.
That's it. That's what self-control is. You control your senses. You're like, okay, let me use my intelligence. Like I said, take that pause. Don't let them well up and, it's that the horse and the chariot game. You're not letting the horses run away and drag you around. You're like, nope, I got the reins. We're gonna pull up for a moment, chill out, get your act together, and now we'll go forward.
Yeah, the wise knows when to remove yourself from the scene instead of let the tongue goes faster than the mind and the reason. What do you think, Rob?
Mm. I'd say I would definitely agree with the second, where we accept and observe the feelings, instead of trying to control or change them per se, to an extent, right? Like I don't know, maybe it's only me, but like I've experienced some extremely intense emotional experiences that I was not equipped and prepared to be able to just sit with, right? And what I've found is in those situations is the only control I have is whether or not I surrender or not. Intense sadness, intense anger. I have to surrender it over to Krishna because I can't handle it. I feel like I'm just going to blow up, and that's not because I'm bottling it. It's because it's so incredibly intense. With the more mild sensations of emotion, then oftentimes I can just sit with those and I can observe them. But even in those, like I'm still asking, what am I supposed to learn from this? How can I best come out the other side of this? Or, even asking Krishna, like, hey, this is uncomfortable. I don't really like this. Can you please help me get through this? And so I feel like for a general response, I would say I have to accept these feelings and then surrender them to Krishna, because I'm not somebody that has developed a really good sense of emotional regulation. I spent a long time out there running amok and just letting my emotions control me and take me wherever they will. And so I found that the best way for me to manage these experiences that I don't feel very well equipped is to surrender and turn them over.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, one thing that works for me, uh, it's say I need a break, I need a pause. Can we discuss this in other moment? Because sometimes I really don't know what to do or what to say, or do want to say something, but I think that I will regret. It's not the best choice. So I prefer to try to pause instead of continuing a conversation if it's possible, right? Because sometimes we are in situations that we need to solve and say things, having conversations, even if it's not our best state of mind, right? Well, guys, I think it's this for today, for tonight, sorry. We finished the second chapter. I don't know if someone would like to add something else.
Just happy to be here with you guys.
Oh, me
Love
too.
all the little conversations.
Me
I tell
too.
my
It's just I don't have time because now I leave. I'm still at work when you guys are doing it. Today I was rushing. I left and I left the table behind. I was like, oh, guys, they paid already. I'm leaving because I wanted to participate for 30 minutes.
Oh, it's so nice to hear this with all of you, because for me it's been really special to be with all of you all these weeks, and I hope you can continue studying. We can continue sharing this experience in the book club, and it's been very, very meaningful to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Haribo.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
everybody.
See you
Thank
next
you.
well,
week.
Haribol.
wish you all the best till we see you again.
Ciao, ciao.